My enhancing life project.
Cyborgs, artificial intelligence, or designer babies. Science fiction seems possible nowadays. But we are vulnerable human beings. So what should we do next?
Children are among the most vulnerable groups in our society. So if parents decide to give these children pills to make them better in school or to compensate bad schooling, they put these children at great risk of the side effects of these pills without changing the conditions of bad schooling. So in my project I want to investigate why people or why parents make these decisions that are detrimental to the health of their children. And with the knowledge of these factors, hopefully we can inform parents to make better decisions.
What does it mean to build a great nation? It means finding ways to love others. It means building a place where we reject the forces that hurt and damage, and using our talents and energies to love others, to care for our environment, and to care for the common good of all humanity.
Many religions, as well as evolutionary biologists and artists, picture our life as a tree of life, a community of relationships among organisms. In our time of climate change and other urgent global crises, we need these kinds of public images of hope, like the tree of life, that can help us imagine and articulate a shared vision for enhancing life on Earth. That's what my project works on, drawing from the Bible, from classical Christian eschatology, from environmental sciences, and liberation theology, to draw out and expand a vision for Christian hope in new and interdisciplinary directions.
Enhancing life studies is a way that we can better take care of patients and deliver health care to the women who come to us during pregnancy. It's a way that we can help not only women who are pregnant, but also children, families, and society more broadly to decide if and how to use new technologies that come to us from the scientific realm.
I want to develop ethics of relinquishing, which can inspire current ethical debates in many aspects. For instance, prenatal diagnostic screening or medical treatment at the end of life. Those acts of relinquishing can be experienced as a new quality of life. In other words, as an enhancement of life.
One of the things the Enhancing Life project does is give us the chance to develop new kinds of language to talk about human life and our relationships with God and one another. The term that I'm most interested in is patience, and very simply, and this is the public relevance, is that it provides a new way of talking about God's relationship with the world, and also human beings' reception of and transformation by God's activity.
In a world torn apart by violence and fear, I would like to be able to open up people's lives in considering what makes a life worth living. And in particular, I would like to encourage vulnerability to open us up to mutual affection, love, and relationship.
My project is about cognitive enhancement medications. A lot of research into cognitive enhancement medications tends to focus on how they can generate possible bad medical side effects, for instance, brain tumors, or maybe high blood pressure. Now, what my research focuses on is on trying to show how cognitive enhancement medications can also have bad social side effects or good social side effects. And in my view, social side effects are no less important than medical side effects. After all, if we live in a very competitive society, an overly competitive society, which doesn't leave any time to do a lot of the good things in life, well, that wouldn't be a very good thing. So the public relevance of my project is to highlight all the ways in which cognitive enhancement medications can and should be focused on making the world better in the social sphere and not just the medical sphere.
Enhancing life means improving the life of people by improving the health and well-being of people through its holistic approach. Understanding the roots of female genital mutilation in Iraqi Kurdistan region can enhance the effectiveness of preventive measures to end this harmful practice, which would not only improve the life of girls and women, but can move the whole Kurdish society into a healthier future.
It is society's responsibility to enhance the lives of our children, especially children who have been removed from their homes, separated from their loved ones, and placed under the care of the government. In addition to nurturing the biological and psychological dimensions of the human being, we must also nurture the spiritual or noetic dimension of being human. By nurturing the spiritual lives of our children, we not only enhance children's lives, we enhance our lives, we enhance the life of society, and ultimately humanity's future.
My research on consumer wisdom is intended to help identify a philosophy and practice of consumer behavior that promotes individual well-being, but is also sustainable and globally scalable.
My project demonstrates the enduring nature of vulnerability in human experience, and that vulnerability as a form of concern enables values such as morality, trust, and maturity.
I'm working on multiple mutually amplifying climate changes, planetary, religious, and political. And in light of these climate changes, I'm exploring new ideas about democratic community and ways of performing economy.
The cell phone is playing an increasing role in our lives. I think each and every one of us is curious to know whether it's actually enhancing it or it's becoming so dominant that it's diminishing our lives. As parents, as peers, as individuals, I think we all want to know how we should get along with our telephones, and hopefully this project can help us answer that question.
My project is examining how innovation takes place, because we need to know how new futures are made, including those of the past.
Health is a central value in our society, health understood as bodily fitness. This excludes people who are chronically ill or disabled. My research develops an understanding of health which includes these people also.
Human beings have always sought not only to survive, but to better or enhance their lives. But for life to be enhanced, it must first be sustained. Sustainability, then, is the precondition for the enhancement of life and for human civilization more generally.
Most humans already live in cities, and there's a growing body of research that shows that human well-being is enhanced by experiences in nature. My project tells the story of nature in the city, so that city dwellers are inspired to see and to engage and to be changed by the nature that's right outside their front door.
Human creatures, societies, and environments are susceptible to being changed by others. Some of the fearful politics and frenetic activity of these times registers these susceptibilities. Nations, corporations, groups seek invulnerability and control by building walls, closing borders, amassing information, wealth, power. Yet shared life is also susceptible to positive transformation. My project focuses on these prospects, especially on experiences of the aliveness of life, the glory of life.
My research project is on Gandhi's ashrams, the residential communities that he established in South Africa and in India, and where he sought to enact his ideal of sarvodaya, or universal welfare. The public relevance of my research lies in thinking through what it means to enhance life on the level of everyday living, and in particular, the relationship between self-discipline and even self-sacrifice to the enhancement of daily life.
My Enhancing Life project is of major public relevance. It focuses on the Alliance of Civilizations, a United Nations body dedicated to improving relations between the West and the Muslim world. This is especially important at the present time when there are concerns about multiculturalism and clashes of civilizations.
Aging and care are aspects of life that are often hidden from the public eye. This research asks carers to think about what kind of a world they would like to grow old in, and to imagine a public where aging and care are valued and meaningful and woven into the cultural and spiritual life of the community.
We live in a world of multifaceted vulnerabilities, global, religious, and personal vulnerabilities. A theology of vulnerability may help to enhance life. It sharpens the realistic view beyond simple either-or alternatives, and it opens the horizon for transformations by nourishing aspirations.
At the moment, I'm working on religious counterworlds and the question how they enhance or endanger life. Particular emphasis is on the connection between hope, love, and faith. Terrorism, and in particular religious terrorism, consists of many components besides religion. But if you disconnect hope from love, religious hope can be desperately violent. And this is what we see today.
Religious traditions care about bodies, they care about sex, and they care about human flourishing. So they might have useful resources for thinking about embodied sex in broader cultural conversations.
Everyone dies, right? So enhancing the life of the dying ought to be important for everyone.
We should talk about the future of old age today. If we don't, that future may be nothing like we imagined.
Should the government decide on how much privacy is good for us, how much meat we should eat every day, and how much sexism we can tolerate in advertising? Or should we decide on these issues? That's what my project is about.
Human beings strive to enhance their lives. Societies and political orders that do not enhance human life inevitably fail. The public relevance of my work and of this project is to think about the norms and values necessary for guiding societies and political orders in ways that in fact enhance human life.
We live in a time when human consumption patterns are putting unprecedented pressures on the natural world. My project is designed to ask what people in the West can learn from the Indian traditions of Buddhism and Jainism about living simpler, more restrained lives that are nevertheless meaningful and filled with joy.
Reflecting on enhancing life in the aftermath of atrocities is pivotal for institutions and individuals who seek to break the cycle of mimetic violence.
My project will let us better understand the spiritual dimension of migration by an analysis of the religious coping strategies of migrants and refugees.
In an era of much violence and taking of life, particularly in the name of religion, my project, through the lens of Islamic law, seeks to recover a vision for the essentials of human life, and thereby it seeks to engage with public and policy stakeholders, both Muslim and non-Muslim, to consider together how we might renew, establish, and develop the conditions for the flourishing of human life.
In today's culture of hypercommunication, it is important to appreciate and cherish communication breakdown. Sometimes miscommunication can be redemptive.